Hola, this is Kai Pacha with the weekly Pele report for July 31st of 2019. However, as you can see, I'm going back to October 26th of 2018. I'm going to give you a little astronomy lesson today. Just because I'm a little bit of a geek and I like this kind of stuff, I find it super freaking fascinating. Because right now we are having Venus is approaching the sun, and this new moon in Leo that's coming up here is at 8 degrees 37 minutes of Leo, and I'm going to just show you some of the cycle of Venus, the Sun, Venus, Earth cycle. For that, I'm going to Venus Helio. That is, most of our charts are geocentric. I'll show you the geocentric. If I go back here here's the geocentric. Okay, we had a cycle of Venus conjunct the Sun, okay, that began in October 26th of 2018. Okay. What it is when this is geocentric. This is as if the Earth is in the center. If we put the Earth in the center from the Earth, we look out and we see Venus conjunct the Sun, right? But if we look at and we put the Sun in the center and we stand on the top of the Sun, I don't suggest it, we're going to see actually that Venus is in front of, right, or lined up with the Earth. So you get it? It's just like Venus is in between. It's like a full moon almost, like Venus is in between the Sun and the Earth. So, yeah, I hope you get that. Because it's going to become more clear now. Well, here we go. Ready? I'm just going to go forward now and say, that what happens here is you can see this is the heliocentric, right? From the center of, from the Sun, we can actually then move on and move along and have a an Earth-Venus opposition. This will be when Venus is on the other side of the Sun. So if we were on the Sun, we could have an Earth-Venus opposition. You get that? And this is going to go around. It's a 564-day cycle where you can see that it's, Venus is going to go all the way around the Sun, of course, and the Earth is going around. It's more than a year until Venus comes back and we have another boom, right? Earth-Venus conjunction, June 4th of 2020. Now I'm going to do this from the geocentric point of view. This is super cool, okay? Here we have, and now I want to show you now this is from the Earth. Whenever a planet is close to the Sun, it's called combust. Combust means that you can't see it. The Sun is so bright that right now you can't see Venus. That's why they say that Venus is now in the underworld, because she's invisible. She has to be more than 10 degrees away from the Sun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go forward until she is 10 degrees away from the Sun. There she is. Now, this is the horizon, that horizontal line, 0 degrees of Aries. We're going to call this east. So just imagine, okay, if the Sun and Venus went down and set in the west, what would rise first? Venus would rise first. So whenever Venus is clockwise from the Sun, she is a morning star. They call her the morning Venus, right? She rises before the Sun. and she gets, now what we're going to watch is we're going to watch that she goes farther and farther away from the sun. You see, so in the east, she is rising higher and higher and higher, through February, through March. She's a morning star, morning star, morning star, all the way through April, all the way through April. Now then she begins to go lower and lower and lower in the morning sky until she actually disappears because she gets, again, too close to the sun, where she is right now, right? Okay, so here's 10 degrees away from the sun. As of July 8th, you will not be able to see Venus rising anymore because the sun is too close to her. You see what I mean? So as of July 8th, the native people, the ancients, would say that Venus has descended into the underworld. And so she's not going to be visible, and this is this cool part about it, right? Okay, and what we know is, right, from the heliocentric, okay, from that heliocentric, if we go to July 9th, let's go back to the heliocentric, just for snits and grins, all right, and go back to July 9th. If we go back to July 9th, what are we going to see? We are going to see an Earth-Venus opposition, aren't we? Right? So what we can say is that this Sun-Venus conjunction is not because Venus is in between the sun and the earth. Oh no. Rather, she is actually opposite. We have an earth, so Venus is on the other side of the sun. Venus is as far away from the earth now as she can possibly get, ladies and gentlemen. You see what I'm saying? So it looks in the charts like we have a Sun-Venus conjunction, but we want to understand that there's two kinds of Sun-Venus conjunctions. They are called superior and inferior, right? So, that one is where she is in between, and the other is where she's opposite. So right now we are coming up to, okay, here we are today, July 31st. Venus is technically conjunct the sun, right? But they're both moving together, and she's not going to be exactly conjunct the sun until what? August 12th. She is as far away from us as she can get. Are you feeling that? I'm going to talk about that. Now she passes the sun, and when she gets to be 10 degrees away, where's this? 10 degrees away, we're going to be able to see her again. Only now, we're not going to see her rising in the east, are we? She's on the other side of the sun. So she is going to be an evening star. As of September 18th, Venus is going to rise in the west. So we could see her as a morning star since last October. And then she went underground, into the underworld, and she will rise as a Western goddess, okay, as of September 18th. And then she is going to do her regular thing where she's going to go farther and higher up into the sky, farther away from the sun. We're going to see her more brilliant and more brilliant and more brilliant, right? Until she then begins to set. As she comes around the sun and catches up to the earth, she is going to, then we're going to come to a superior conjunction. I passed it up. And that is going to be in June of 2020, right? So you can see that we are midway in the Sun-Venus synodic cycle. It's 564 days. It began last October. We are, at where Venus was conjunct the Earth. And now Venus is opposite the Earth, July and August of 2019. And she's going to come back to us, again by June 3rd of 2020. Wow. I don't know if you understand that. That could be a little too much information for some of you, but I don't really do that much astronomy. So I think that, I can mess around a little bit here and do this dynamic. Let's look at all the, now here we have all the planets. Oh gosh, where am I? This is July 31st, 2019. Oh, that's heliocentric. Oh, geez. Yeah, if you look at heliocentric, right? It's like you see the Earth Venus opposition, but everything is in very different, very different places. Look at Mercury is in Pisces. If we were on the sun, Mercury would be in Pisces, but we know that Mercury never gets that far away from Venus in a heliocentric chart. Anyway, maybe I'm going too far with this, but what do I want to do? Let's do a dynamic. Here's a geo. And let's just move it up to where we are now. Give you guys an idea, because this is not the only thing that's happening, right? Venus, I showed you Sun Venus, but there's more going on than Sun Venus. Hello, hello, hello. Do you see what's happening here? Let's move up to the 20. Now we have, right? Mercury, that S means station, right? Today, Mercury is stationing and going direct. Hallelujah. You're going to see that S turn, that S is going to disappear and Mercury is going to go direct, at the 23rd, 24th degree of Cancer. But look at the moon is coming around to the sun. We are having today a Sun, Venus, Mercury conjunction. By tomorrow, the moon has moved on. And we're going to have basically like a Sun, Moon, Mars conjunction. You can see there's this nice trine. Okay, the Sun, Moon, Mars is all trining Jupiter on Thursday. Super freaking cool. But what else is happening? Venus is now in trine to Chiron. And she is square to Uranus. So these are the aspects. You can also see Black Moon Lilith. Let me go back. Black Moon Lilith was in Pisces. Black Moon Lilith is going retrograde into Aquarius. And if we go forward, let's keep going forward now. Obviously, the moon goes into Virgo on Friday. Then she moves into Libra by Sunday. So you see the moon moving around. Venus is, traveling right along with the sun. They're both catching up to Mars there, right? It's going to be, a super powerful Venus-Sun-Mars conjunction. It's, in trine to Jupiter. That's going to be like super cool. But what we can see is Black Moon Lilith is in Aquarius opposing this whole Sun Venus. If we're looking at the feminine energy here, right? Our feminine goddess has gone into the underworld. We can't see her. And Black Moon Lilith is in opposition to that whole thing going on. In fact, she stations right there at 17 degrees and starts going direct again. Wow. See what I'm saying? So this has to do with the mantra for today, with the Sabian symbols that I want to talk about. So let me look at the camera and give you some more info. All right, everybody. I hope that wasn't too much
for you, but there's a lot going on. I may have too much more for you because this could be a long freaking paleo report. There's like so much going on. There's so much to say. So let me just jump in. Even something I forgot with the astronomy was Jupiter is also stationing direct. Jupiter went up to like 24, 25 degrees of Sagittarius. It has gone retrograde, 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 and now it is remaining. It's at 14, it goes direct at 14 degrees 30 minutes or something, right? But it's in that same degree, the 15th degree, okay, from, what is it? From July 24th to August 29th. That's how slow Jupiter moves. It goes into 14, 59, 58, 57, 56, goes all the way down to 30, stops, and then starts going direct. It takes like 6 weeks. No, 5 weeks. You know, Jupiter is just like at that same degree. What is the Sabian symbol for that degree? Right? Because this is an overlaying energy that's going on, okay, from July 24th to August 29th. We've got what? The groundhog looking for its shadow on Groundhog Day. The value of anticipating new turns of events and ascertaining future prospects. Right? In our modern industrial society where policy changes and decisions often take several years to reach full actualization, it has become essential to plan with an eye on probable future developments. Hence, astrology. Such planning requires a study of past trends and the extrapolation of the results. What is implied above all is the symbol is a sensitivity to social or planetary rhythms and the need to ensure at least relative safety by planning ahead. Now we know Jupiter spends a year in Sagittarius. It went in there like last November or something. It's there until December 3rd. So, you know, Jupiter, Sagittarius, home of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the expansion of consciousness, right? And it is learning and it is looking ahead. It's the archer shooting his arrow into the bullseye, aiming, getting ready to shoot. This is a time for us getting ready to shoot, and it's coming into clarity, and it's necessary for us to plan ahead for safety. Very interesting, because this week Venus is square Uranus. I showed you that, right? Venus is square Uranus, trine Chiron. So, you know, with all the astrology aside, what I want to really point to here is that we're moving in a big cycle, a 2,000-year cycle, into this age of Aquarius, the age of science, the age of technology, the age of the age of globalization and global corporations, and, you know, huge social changes. So we're on the verge of this big shift. And so far, what I'll say for you, I was just listening to Dr. Mate Gabor. He wrote a book that's, you know, been, I think, on the bestseller list or something, but it's about addictions. And whether it's the DSM-5 or all of psychology or psychiatry today, what he says is, and he's not the only one, I was listening to some other stuff, okay, that everything can be boiled down. All addictions, all ADHD, all stress factors, it all boils down. The bottom line that everybody is, you know, suffering psychologically from is what? Post-traumatic stress. And that happens in childhood when we are the most sensitive. I talked about this First 3 Years book by Carl Koenig before, but these, even in the womb, and what has been going on and what is going on in those very fundamental years, okay, when a child is stressed out, the body goes into what? Right? Fight or flight. The adrenal glands kick in, and you get shots of adrenaline, and you get shots of cortisol. It speeds up your heart rate. It opens up your lungs. It gets so that you are able to, so your body is stressed. And when we're under constant stress as babies and as kids, okay, we get, our body forgets, or it gets programmed to not turn off the adrenal and the cortisol. So we're getting, so what we can do is we can be getting addicted to adrenaline, addicted to cortisol, addicted to dopamine, addicted to melatonin, serotonin, addicted to these internal chemical conditions and situations. Our body gets accustomed, okay, and then it's like when we're not having adrenal, we got to have some caffeine, because our body is exhausted. So many of us are suffering from exhaustion. Now, the planet Uranus, okay, rules the nervous system along with Mercury in astrology. And here comes the sun was square Uranus. Now Venus is square Uranus. This is the nervous system. This is triggering, okay, energy manifestations, bizarre, stress factors coming into play here. And Venus is in the underworld. She's far, far away. Venus is harmony, beauty, joy, pleasure. Okay, she's on the opposite side of the sun, folks. She's in the underworld. Oh, por Dios. So we got no Venus, right? And we've got Black Moon Lilith coming in with this opposition. The sun's moving, Mars is opposites, sun is opposite Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith is Kali, the dark feminine energy. So we have the dark feminine and the light feminine, the light and the dark, right? And the light feminine, which is happy-go-lucky, the beautiful maiden, la da 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 da, she's far away. And in her place is Kali, the dark feminine energy that says, what? Whoosh, release, go down, feel deep energy. And I'm saying that this is, relating back and relating in. So this can be a real time where, and Mate Gabor, he also talks about addiction as being a self-soothing habit that soothes ourselves in times of stress, okay, that has a negative result. And it doesn't have to be a substance. It doesn't have to be, okay, drugs, alcohol, it can be sex. It can be work. Okay, it can be movies, it can be Netflix, it can be Facebook. There's, what we do is when we get stressed out or freaked out or, whatever, we grab for something to fill and soothe ourselves and calm ourselves back down. See what I'm saying? And so what I want to bring this around full circle to just simply say, okay, folks, this is not the end. This is not a small time, short-term, passing transit. We are heading into a 2,000-year age of Aquarius. And what is the source of stress? To me, I see the bottom line source of stress as technology. and the human being's relationship to the machines that we are creating, that think faster, artificial intelligence that make decisions faster, that keep numbers and keep data and are observing us and watching us and keeping track of our payments and our likes and our dislikes and who we vote for and what we wear and what we buy and all these machines. Okay, and social media and Tinder for dating, okay, and all these kinds of impact, online dating, online this, online that, online the other thing. This is when we create machines, okay, that are going faster than us. We need to be very awake. We need to be very aware, and it may take a number of generations for humanity to adjust to this use and use properly, use technology properly. It's like giving a 3-year-old a gun, okay? It's like we are young, innocent, naive when it comes to the machines that we are making. Are the machines going to be controlling us, or are we going to be controlling the machines? We need to plan ahead, and we need to stay in our center, in our heart space, in our emotional space as human beings, and not get swept away, caught up, stressed out, pulled off center by all of the technology. You see what I'm saying? And that brings me back to what? Astrology, man. The Sabian symbol for the new moon in Leo. And last week's mantra was about the creativity and the need for creativity. And I'm in my center, I'm in my core when I'm creating. And now we have the Sabian symbol. I got to hold up the book. Some of you may be new to the Pele Report. One of my favorite books, Dane Rudyard, An Astrological Mandala. There is a Sabian symbol that a psychic gave for every degree of the zodiac. The degree of this new moon is, ready? The 9th degree of Leo. Glass blowers shape beautiful vases with their controlled breathing. The breath represents the power of the spirit, animator of all living manifestations. Yeah. Because the glass blower uses his breath to shape the glass vessels, he is a fitting symbol of how deeply any creative individual has to involve his total being in his creation. He is also using the fire of the spirit, transpersonal inspiration, or in another sense, the fire of deeply felt emotions. Any creative activity which does not involve both the breath and the fire cannot transform into beautiful artworks, or indeed any new form of order. The raw materials, otherwise known as the remains of the past. He says in parentheses, the sand, right? Glass is made out of sand. Isn't this a trip? Because I talked about last time, how fire is an alchemical transforming element. We mix fire with breath, and we get this glass blower image. So this new moon happening at this degree with this symbol says that the whole next month, right? This is a new moon in Leo just starting out, and it sets the pattern for the whole next month, where we've got this whole Jupiter stationing, where we need to plan ahead. We need to create our future. We need to do it carefully, and we need to do it in the midst of stress, of trauma, of crazy things and crazy people happening. I just read about, the guy, shooting 3 people dead at the Garlic Festival. I used to live outside Gilroy. I lived up in Northern California. I know that Garlic Festival, man. I mean, it really hit me close to home, and there's just insanity going on all around this planet. And a lot of it has to do, okay, with, that most of the people here, we've got a lot of single parenting going on. We have stressed out mothers. We have tons of technology happening. And this is only compounding. So many social, cultural norms and, factors are at play, driving the population towards madness. And what we have to do as awakened individuals is plan and be awake, not be naive, and not be scared and not retreat, but use all of our spiritual breath, fire, emotional energy to create a new paradigm in the midst of madness. Yeah, baby. I know that you know what I'm talking about. There's weird energy in the air. I can't afford to be naive. But I'm not going to let it change my plans to live in peace and harmony. That's the mantra. That's the energy of these days. We cannot allow the external world. This is why we have to do our yoga and our meditation, and we have to stay centered. We have to create peace and harmony. We can't find it. We can't look for it. We can't take some substance or sex or money or whatever to give us peace and harmony. It's not going to happen, folks. We have to tap in, to our divine soul, spirit, nature, and through that inspiration, we have to be spiritual warriors creating peace and harmony. So, yeah, man. It's a little intense. I guess I might be a little intense today. All this stuff is happening. I have 6 planets in Leo, so yeah, I have Mars is on my I have a Mercury-Mars conjunction in Leo. Mercury at 19 and Mars is at 20. And like today, Mars is on my Mercury. So you may be feeling it. I'm going to read it one more time. I should remember it, right? This came to me in the middle of the night last night. There's weird energy in the air. I can't afford to be naive. But I'm not going to let it change my plans to live in peace and harmony. May you live in peace and harmony. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.